Hi, and welcome to the show today. We are talking about what should be the aim of every entrepreneur. Now, I want you to think about this because you really got to, if you're going to do this right, you really got to know what you're doing. You really got to have your aim right. You really got to get your focus right. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, hey, welcome to the show. My name is Scott Wilhite. I am the Record Yourself video coach. Got to tell you, this video series is for a specific audience. I am speaking to heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to make a difference in the world, who want their voice to matter, who want to be a force for good. I talked to a lady yesterday and she said, oh, that is what is burning inside of her. She wants to be a force for good. She has all of these ideas and thoughts that she wants to get out, and she's trying to figure out, how do I do that? What is blocking me? And how do I get over those obstacles? So I want to help you with that. That's what the show's about. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. And if you ring the bell, then you will be notified when more great shows come out. And I'm going to teach you about lighting, I'm going to teach you about audio, I'm going to teach you about how to create lots of content so that you can share your message out there. So today we're talking about entrepreneurship. I got to tell you, I love entrepreneurship, but I didn't always. So when I was a kid, in fact, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur because my dad was one. My dad was a solopreneur architect, and although it was great to have him around the house all the time, because he worked down in the basement in his little cave there, but he was working all the time. And he also never knew when paychecks would come in. The way that it worked for him was not so great. And I saw that, and I saw all the negative things in there, and I said, I never want to be an entrepreneur. I heard people say, hey, the great thing about it being an entrepreneur is you only have to work half time, and you get to choose which 12 hours of the day that's going to be. Well, that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. But I got, so real quick on my story. So I went into the corporate world, went into the advertising field, and jumped around from agency to agency, not because I wanted to, but because they kept letting me go. The economy would dip down, and funds were tight, and so they would just let staff go. They had no loyalty to me. They had no allegiances to me, and I just had to keep finding my own way over and over again. And finally, I got sick of it. I thought, I'm not going to hope and trust that this corporation is going to care enough about me to keep me on when times get tough. And that's when I started jumping out on my own and doing my own things as an entrepreneur. And I got to tell you, it is the best thing ever. But you do need to be focused on what it is you want to accomplish and what entrepreneurship is really all about. So one of the great things about entrepreneurship is that they say that entrepreneurs solve problems that aren't theirs. Now, maybe those are problems that used to be theirs, but they are no longer theirs, and so they're helping the guy behind them, which I just love. So, part of my story is I learned that happiness was a skill. Changed my life. All of a sudden, these things that I thought were outside of my control, these circumstances that were just horrible, I thought, wrecking my life, I realized that wasn't what was in charge of my happiness. It was, if happiness is indeed a skill, that meant that there was something I could do about it, and I can change, and I could practice, and I could get really good so that I could spark my happiness whenever I wanted and in whatever circumstances I wanted. Life-changing for me, right? And then once I learned that was no longer my problem. But it was the problem of the guy behind me, or the guy, 5 people behind me. They didn't understand that. And so by being an entrepreneur, I could help that person. Well, think about what it is that you know. What skills, what talents, what insights do you have that can help somebody else? What is it that you can give and contribute in this world through the things that you know and the things that you've experienced? Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. So years ago, I was in Las Vegas. In fact, it was 5 years ago this month, okay, when this YouTube episode is being recorded. And I went to this convention, this conference, and they had these amazing speakers speaking. And then a cool thing was that we could sit with them at the table. And I remember I was talking to this one guy who was this amazing public speaker, and he started to share his stories about how he got out there and how he made his start and how he made his difference. But the thing was, is and what he was saying just really spoke to me, because I realized that was where I was at. I was afraid to get out in front of the camera. I was afraid to get on stage. I was afraid to share my story. I was afraid to show up and share what I had learned. And I was hiding. I was hiding in plain sight, but I felt the call within me that I really needed to share what I knew, to be an entrepreneur, to share and make a difference in the lives of others. But I was terrified. And so David, his name is David Corbin, don't know if I mentioned that, he pointed out across the room there was one of those AED defibrillators. Am I saying that right? You know those things on the wall that you can rip it out there and pull it out and then do the EMT thing on somebody and go chunk and spark them back to life if they've had a heart attack or something like that. And he pointed to that and he said, what if you knew how to use that? What if you knew how to use that, and somebody in this room, and the room was filled with entrepreneurs. Some were solopreneurs, some, had small businesses with a handful of employees, and some were a little bit bigger. But he said, what if you knew how to do that and you could save their life, but you were too afraid to stand up and use it? You were too afraid to share the insights and the wisdom that you had with others. What a tragedy that would be, if you were to live that way and not get up and not share. So that was one of those things that changed me. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are even thinking about considering being an entrepreneur, I want you to consider what is inside of you. What is yearning to get out? What knowledge, what insight, what benefit do you have that you can help the people behind you? Because if you focus on them, that is going to make all the difference in the world. So what should be the focus of every entrepreneur? It would be to stand up and share something that's going to help somebody else, solve somebody else's problem. Yes, it may have been your problem in the past, but it's not your problem now. And now it's your opportunity to help somebody else. So anyway, I hope that helps you out. I hope it kind of gets some ideas going in your mind about what you can do, how you can stand up, how you can share. I got to tell you, if you really want to make a great difference as an entrepreneur, you're going to want to use the tool that is most powerful as far as the least amount of effort going in and the most amount of impact going out, and that is through video. So throughout this series, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe it, ring the bell, and you will be notified when more videos come out. I'm going to share with you how to use good lighting. I'm going to share with you how to create good audio. It sounds pretty good in here, right? Decent, I guess. I'm going to teach you how to create a studio so that you can use video in the most powerful ways possible, that you can get your message out to those who need it. And when you use effective technologies as an entrepreneur, you don't have to do that old mindset of half time, working 12 hours a day. You can work effectively, you can work smart, you can use the tool it will make the biggest impact. So I want to share that with you. Happy to help you in what you are doing to create. So anyway, happy to have you join me on the show. Thank you. If you're a heart-centered person who wants to make a difference in the world, video is the way to do it. I'm happy to help you get started. Click right here to take my Quick Start Challenge, and you can get started today.